Alright, guys, welcome to the weekly Bitcoin weather forecast. Let's see if this pump is going to continue or if we're about to reach a downpour. At the time of recording, Bitcoin is trading at about $93.8 thousand, and it looks like it may have reached a little bit of a level of resistance right here where I said it would at a previous level of support, which is almost always going to be acting as resistance on the way back up. As you can see, we did trade pretty significantly here at about $95,000 or so. And if we can break out above these dark clouds, then maybe it is going to be sunny skies ahead of us. But if we get rejected here, which it looks like we might just be doing, then it could be a little bit of a downpour over the next week or so until we get back down here to a previous level of resistance and turn it into support. Luckily, it does look like there is some good support underneath us, with the first level that I'm really looking at being at about $90,000. And if we break down below that, then we might be headed back down into the mid $80,000 range. As they say, nothing trades in a straight line forever, and this thing has been going in a pretty much straight line to the upside over the past week or so. But over the past couple of days, we've been seeing a little bit of sideways price action, and this could indicate a lower high, which could turn into a more significant downtrend if we don't actually put in a higher low right after this. Fortunately, it does look like we've got this ugly looking descending wedge that is a bullish pattern with a price target of about $103,000, and if we can break above that $95,000 range, then we might be headed back towards the all-time highs, and maybe even to that price target that I've been talking about for several months now at about $120,000. The RSI has been getting a little bit overextended here, with it looking like it wants to break into the overbought territory, and it could stay up in that area for quite some time before it actually does have a rejection and come back down. And I'm still hoping that this bull market can continue all the way out until around October or so. This recent downturn, in my opinion, has unfortunately stunted the growth of this bull market cycle, and it might not be reaching those $200,000 price targets that a lot of people were expecting it to, but I think that $120,000 is a pretty good level to be watching out for, because as I continue to say, it is perfectly coinciding with this curving, ascending resistance line that has been rejecting us pretty much ever since the beginning of Bitcoin. Pretty much nobody has been talking about the tariffs recently that Donald Trump has imposed on China, and if they can come to some kind of agreement and lower those tariffs, then I think people will start talking about it again, but this time it's going to be bullish, and that could actually push us up to that $120,000 mark. But what would be even better than that is if these tariffs actually cause the Fed to lower interest rates, and we do have a meeting coming up here in just over a week, in about 9 days. There's currently a 92.3% chance that the Fed is going to continue with their pause, but everybody's going to be paying attention to Jerome's speech after the meeting to see whether he's going to actually pretty much confirm that we're going to be seeing another rate cut in the next meeting, with there currently being about a 60% chance, but unfortunately these chances have been headed to the downside, with the chances that we're going to be seeing a continuation of the pause on the rise currently being at about 35%. If we go back and look at the hourly chart for Bitcoin though, it looks like it's still in an uptrend, with it continuing to make higher lows here, but we have seen the first lower high in quite a bit of time, and it might actually be a head and shoulders pattern, and this could take us back down to about that $90,000 mark before we find some significant support, and then hopefully see a bounce continuing to fill the expectations for the price target on this downward wedge. That might actually be a bullish sign though, because usually if we're heading down into the Fed meeting, then it's going to be bouncing and going back to the upside afterwards, because some uncertainty is just being removed from the markets, and if the markets hate one thing the most, it's definitely uncertainty. For more than a year now, the S&P 500 has been stuck in this ascending wedge, which is a bearish pattern, and how you tell the price target for one of these is that you measure the height of the wedge itself, and then extend that from the breakout point on the wedge, which will give you a price target of about $5,000, and it looks like we've already filled that price target, and we're bouncing off of this previous level of resistance from back in January of 2022. So unless we break down below that price target of about $4,800, then it looks like we might be continuing this uptrend And with Bitcoin being historically pretty much correlated with the stock market, this could also be a good sign for Bitcoin as well, sending it to the upside as hopefully euphoria starts to re enter the stock market as well. So for now, I am kind of expecting a little bit of a short term cool off here from these recent pumps that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. But if we do catch that little bit of support down here at about $90,000, then I think that's going to be confirming that this uptrend is going to continue. And with us making higher highs and higher lows, this trend is going to be your friend until it ends. And this trend is actually pretty friendly. So if you did panic sell back here in the beginning of April, then when and if we do see a bounce around $90,000, this could be an opportunity to get back into the markets before we continue back to the upside and hopefully continue the bull market until the end of the year. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are we going to be seeing a little bit of a downpour here over the next week or two? And if so, do you think that we're going to bounce off of the $90,000 range and continue the bull market? Or do you think that it's nothing but dark skies and stormy clouds ahead of us? And do you think our gains are going to get waterlogged so that the only option is to try to keep your powder dry? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to do only good every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.